Hi, Empress Justice here, and welcome to the late April reading for Virgo. This is for Uttara Palguni, Hasta, and Chitra. If there are any Western Virgos in the house, come in, settle in. You want your sun, moon, and ascendant, or as us Vedic girlies call it, the Lagna. Okay, so settle in, enjoy. Now, your tarot cards. So first of all, we have the Nine of Winter, Nine of Swords, starting off strong, obviously. So there's this card right here. So it is unfounded fear, focusing on worst case scenarios, allowing worry to grow out of proportion to the problem. That really hit. That really resonated. I'll get to that in a second. So we've got the Prince of Spring, charming, self-confident, passionate, and restless. Immediate action, a challenge you can successfully manage a passionate relationship. And yeah, this is the Prince of Spring right here. So this is the Knight of Wands. And I'm sorry for not like holding up the cards like I usually do, but there's a clear message that I'm seeing here. It's very, very clear. It says here, you're ready. Angel Answers Oracle deck says you're ready. I feel like some of you Virgos are underestimating yourselves big time. I feel like you've been acting immediately on solutions to various problems, and because you're imagining worst case scenarios, instead of ruminating on them and just being paranoid about them, you're preparing for them. So there is one good thing to be said about your need to argue with success or argue with your actions. I'm sorry, I got distracted. There is something to be said about a need to argue with success or argue with your actions or argue with what you've immediately done, right? It means that when worse comes to worse, you're already going to be prepared because you know how to prepare for eventualities at this point. But what this is telling you is that that's enough preparation. That's enough. When it comes to your career, when it comes to your vocation, when it comes to your life in general, you've done enough preparing. That's enough. You don't need to go over every detail anymore when it comes to these things. You already are and already have everything that you need. That is what this is telling me. Just act. Just do what you need to do. Don't prepare nothing. Don't overthink it. Just you having more than enough information that you need to prepare for what you want. I don't think you're stalling, because I don't get that. I don't get that you're stalling. I don't get that you're procrastinating. I get that your enthusiasm matches what these cards are saying. So I don't get that you're procrastinating. What I do get is that you want the best results possible. What I do get is that you want to be efficient. But sometimes the only way to know whether you're efficient or not is through trial and error, right? So you're being told by Spirit, Virgo, when it comes to professional stuff, when it comes to legal stuff, when it comes to anything to do with your life, get off the fence. Stop preparing. Ask forgiveness and not permission, right? Ask forgiveness and not permission. Work out the rest later. Just stop preparing for things. So what else do I have here? So for notes, I've got mental health work, stressful cynicism, bottling up emotions, keeping up appearances, fast-paced entrepreneur, traveling business, insomnia, sleep problems, nightmares, and friendship. These are signposts when it comes to your reading. They're not necessarily like the end destination when it comes to your reading. They're simply, you know, the end result of what you're, well, not the end result, but they're simply signposts along your journey, along the journey that we're discussing here. So what do I get from this? I feel like a lot of you won't get as much rest as you'd like. And as much as these notes talk about insomnia and sleep problems, I feel like Virgos, a lot of you are of the mindset that there isn't a moment to waste. So if you can't sleep, you will find a way. This is the thing. If you cannot sleep, which is what this reflects, right? You will find a way to use that time towards preparing for what you want. This is why this is saying you're ready already. Because the mindset that a Virgo has is that there isn't a moment to waste. You are not going to waste time that you could be sleeping trying to sleep. If you can't sleep, you're going to immediately focus your restless mind on whatever it is that you want to do when it comes to your vocation, when it comes to your career, when it comes to your life. You're going to be preparing for that, right? So it's like I said before, this is not about procrastination. This is about planning and preparing and being ready. That's what you emphasize. But I want some clarification on this because it seems like it's a very big thing that you're doing here. I've already got King of Cups. King of Cups already fell out. That's about duty that comes from love rather than obligation. Duty that comes from love rather than the need to control oneself. And then we've got the Chariot card. So you're like, this has to be the second time that a Chariot has come up for you. I can't remember if it's like in one of the readings I deleted. I don't know why I did that. Still don't know why I did that. But this is one of the cards that you used to get a lot of last year. And now it's come up again. And then we've got Page of Cups. That's about pleasure and showing reverence to pleasure. Having a sensitive relationship with pleasure. There's like, yeah, it's like duty bound out of love, but like having this reverence towards what pleases you most. I feel like you're going to get the balance of what you enjoy and what you're supposed to do right. I feel like you're going to get that balance right. And I feel like because you have that balance right, it's allowing you to propel forward, maybe in ways that you haven't done before, right? There's a lot to be juggled. There's a lot of responsibilities to be juggled. Remaining focused is going to be the best way to navigate that. Now I'm getting the connection between this, the You're Ready card, and the Chariot card. I'm getting, Virgo, that it's not yourself that you don't trust. I'm feeling like there's more than enough confidence when it comes to your vocation. Like there's more than enough confidence for you to proceed. This is not a confidence issue. You're more than confident. In fact, the Knight of Wands, I'm willing to bet, is actually you. It's actually you. You have a strong sense of duty that also extends to, you know, what you're passionate about. Like, I feel like the Knight of Wands is a classic knight who is passionate about his duty and his obligation. And I feel like that's you. I feel like you're passionate about what you have to do. And also you're doing what you have to do out of love as well. Love and passion are driving your sense of duty at the moment. And with this, it's giving you a lot of confidence. There's nothing wrong with your confidence. It's not you that you don't trust, like I said before. It's other people, it's circumstances that you don't trust because you're always looking for something around the corner. Trust that whatever happens, you can and you will adapt. What you've got to remember, Virgo, is that you are a mutable sign. You can and you will adapt. Now, the new moon in Ashwini, which is what this reading was supposed to be for, highlighted your 8th house of transformation. Things are going to change big time when it comes to, you know, anything to do with, anything to do with your taxes, anything to do with debts, anything to do with insurance, investments, especially liquid investments, anything to do with shared finances like joint accounts, anything to do with your in-laws, anything to do with welfare, anything to do with basically shared wealth or legacy wealth. Things are going to change on that front. And something tells me you're going to take charge of these things. Even really murky themes like sex and death and all the rest of it, things that people don't really want to look at, and especially psychological processes, you're going to be all over that. And that is exactly where you need to be. You are the one who is going to tackle the difficult stuff that nobody else wants to face, and you're going to be in your absolute element doing that. But you've got to trust yourself and forget, you know, how you think and feel about other people. Forget about this. It's not important that you trust other people. It's important that you trust yourself. And I'm going to leave you with that. So that was for Virgo. That was for Uttara Palguni, Hasta and Chitra. I am Empress Justice, and I'll see you in the next reading. Peace and blessings. Bye-bye, my darlings.